Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity to practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset podcast. My name is Colin Brooks, and this episode we'll talk about Roaches Part 2 because what happened is that I can't believe it, but it really got bad. It really got bad this time. Like so, when I did Roaches, when I come with the Roaches episode, what happened was that I was seeing them. And it's like they were at places, and I was dealing with them. So it's like okay, I have to actually take these things. I was aware of the problem, and it's like okay, I'm gonna deal with it eventually because it was not as bad as as it was because I deal with the worst of it in the first year of the home ownership. So in the second year, it was like okay, I can just and I see the problem, but I didn't have the money and stuff at the time to actually can deal with the solution. Then if you listen to the episode, would have mentioned that I mentioned some solutions. So what happened was that it got worse, like nice. So I'm employed at this point. So it's like what happens now? I'm coming home, I'm going in the room, and the roaches are in the room, going on my bed, and it's like wow, bro. So that's when I realized, like, yeah, this home ownership thing is you have to. It's a really full time job. Like I say, you're the CEO of the home. It's really a full time job because, like, yo, it's like you can't, bro. So it's like what happens now is that when I come home, I have to like basically use like what is that stuff? This stuff like that kills germs. That spray thing that that kills germs. I forgot the name. But I use those stuff to like clear the bed so that the bed is disinfected. Disinfected every so the germs of the roaches don't really get to me, so you have to do those things to keep healthy. And then what happens now is I have to actually take this roaches problem seriously now. So I have to actually just maybe on my day off now, just maybe like just move around the place and all the corners and crevices where the roaches would appear. I just spray those areas, and what I do now is that you spray those one day I would think that okay, yes, I solved the problem. No, you have to actually go doing this for like I was. So what I'm going to do is maybe doing it for a long time, like a month or so. So what happens now is I'm working now. So what the insect sprays, when you spray it, you usually have to actually leave the room that you spray it in because the smell the can really affect your health. So when with me going to work now, I can just do it before I go to work, and by the time I come home, I can actually this the worst of the poison that will affect your health will be gone. So that's the benefit. So as a timing and everything, you have to really be as each level, you have to really be smarter, take active planning, and yeah, so that's basically the thing now with the roaches now where it's like ah I have to actually start dealing with it because this is a real problem. But as I said we'll get we'll get through this. And I guess this phase is that you have to deal with the worst of it so that you can start to manage it because I don't think I would actually solve the roach issue as quick as that. What will happen is that you I will just basically deal with the worst of the problem, and then I'll deal with the worst of the problem, and then when the problem is not as bad anymore, I can actually do some deep digging to find where these roaches are being born and how where to kill them and stuff like that. Because so that's the focus of this second year of the home ownership. Finding where all those insects are and just get rid of them so that by the time the third year, if we reach the third year of ownership, what happens is that you basically it's more cleansier and stuff like that. So that for example, if I'm going to invite people now, those things won't really get in the way. So that's why you have to look at home ownership. The first year when you get into home ownership, it may not be the best place for you to actually invite people because it's not really your how you like it as yet. So you have to spend the first year to actually make it like that. And then the second year now is where you actually deal with the major problem, minor problem and stuff like that. So you have to deal with that. And then the third year is where you can start to say, okay, yes, this is my home because it's starting to become yours. If you have been there for 3 years now, are going to the third year, you'd have been there for 2 years. So you would have got used to the area and make changes to actually to how you like the area and stuff like that. And then you will start to like you can be more confident in inviting people because you know the ins and out of the place because you've been there for 2 years. So with that being said, that's basically it for this episode. Thank you for listening and look forward for the next episode. Mhm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
With great power comes with great responsibility. I know this. It came to me because it just came to me like what happened was, you know, you 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 never know the power of something when actually until you actually take the time to actually really really think about how powerful that tool or skill is or stuff like that. And what happened is that now going through life, I guess doing this 9 to 5 right now, what happened is that you're doing this. So what happened is that the business world is so fast. It's a fast paced world. Like they're everybody's on the grind doing the hustle and all those stuff. So what happens is that when you do in 9 to 5 world in the business world, if if you're not really what I realize